So, Deep Desires, Monsters and Mermaids.
Summarized well.
Explain it. I heard it, but explain it to me.
I think we're really interested in fragmentation and archetypes and putting these parts of ourselves that have been repressed or rejected, putting them back together and healing each other through this beautiful art project.
So you call yourself an art project?
No,
Are you a band or an art project?
we're a band, a collective, a family,
Yeah.
lovers.
Yeah. Bit of everything.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Tell me more about your kind of psychedelic rock punk idea of the band. So, are you musically trained?
I am, yeah.
How many people in the band are musically trained?
I guess we all are to an extent.
I have I'm trained in dance and circus and acting.
I see. So that's how you met your friend.
Yeah.
Got some questions.
But Amelia is classical.
You're classically trained.
Like,
What do you play?
So I started on the piano and then bassoon, and then I went to uni to do like popular music and
Okay, I see.
yeah.
Is there a bit of pop to it?
I mean, well, there's a little bit of pop in everything. Depends what you mean by pop, but popular music. The course that I did, it was very much like just not your normal classical course. It was all other music. So it was.
I'm gonna ask you guys a question real quick. It's a dirty word. Do you consider yourself guys indie?
Do you mean as an independent band?
Yes, but also the sound, stylistically.
I think some of our songs definitely
Yeah,
overlap.
I think there's an aspect of it. Again, like it's a really broad genre. If you're going to call it a genre, it's way broader than a lot of other genres. So definitely some of our songs sit more within that than others, I think. As like a visual project, maybe less so. And like an overall kind of what's behind the music and all of that, like I don't feel like it fits into that kind of indie world in the same way, but like depends how broad you're going with the term, I suppose.
And we never kind of sit down with a genre. It's just what interests us, and we put together a scrapbook of different verses and sounds and tastes, and then it becomes a multi-tentacled monster.
Monster punk, monster rock. Define it.
Monster, Amelia and Georgia.
Because the other guys had a definition for their band.
What was it?
It was something along the lines schizo punk rock, but not precisely. What, do you remember exactly the words? Very, very certain definition, but they define themselves very precisely.
Interesting.
Would you?
Well, when we fill in forms and stuff, we say alternative psych rock punk.
Psych rock punk.
But we all have like quite specifically different genres that we like in the band, so I feel like because it must be different hearing it as someone who didn't have a hand in like writing and arranging the songs, because we're all hearing our own influences that we've brought to the group and everyone, so it's actually really interesting to hear how other people describe it more than how we describe it.
Would you agree with that, Devin?
I would definitely agree with you, and I'd say that the way I hear your music, it's almost like a poem written by 5 different people.
Yeah, and you know, when you were playing, we kept like, especially Sasha was saying to me, it was like very hypnotic. Like when you were playing, like we were like, very like hypnotized by what you were playing. So that's how we felt when you were playing.
I think of the songs as kind of spells or manifestations in a way we write something because we're so passionate about our relationships with each other and building our lives together and fulfilling our creative potential, and each song is kind of a stamp of this is us and this is what we're going to do, and you cast that vision forward and then you step into it each time, and it's making the dream come true in a way.
I'd call it I found a word for it myself to personally describe it for myself. It's a psychodrama.
I like that.
Would you agree with that? A
I could
psychodrama.
definitely get on board with that, yeah.
As Freya said, it's hypnotizing, but I found myself wanting to leave my recordings. Sorry. Just interviewed this guy. He's crazy. I love him.
I love us.
He's great.
So good.
Oz is great. Sorry about that.
It's alright.
Considering in your band, because you guys are just as amazing, even if not more. You're amazing. The way I felt when listening to your music, it's kind of, I wanted to engulf myself in this kind of drama. It's almost like a series. All your songs kind of connect with each other, not physically, not by words, but by story. And I could definitely feel it, listening to your albums and stuff like that, to the new songs. You have a definite taste, definite kind of pinpoint to your music, which is hard to pinpoint, but I call it a psychodrama. And it's stunning. It's stunning what you do, and you should keep doing it.
We're gonna.
Yeah.
We're gonna be 80 and
Yeah,
still doing
this
it.
is
right?
it now. That's what we're
This
doing.
is the way.
Yeah.
This is a bit of a question, but you know you promote yourself mainly through gigs and Spotify and stuff like that. Would you say so? Now that you see all these bands popping up on TikTok and other social media, do you think that's a future for sort of, you know, independent artists in general to promote their music? Or do you think it's still kind of the old way that you can promote yourself through gigs and Spotify? Do you find it harder? Do you think it's harder than it was before?
I think it depends where you want to go with your music. I think it seems to be harder to make it kind of big commercially if you're not willing to promote yourself on TikTok and kind of play to the algorithms and all that, which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just like a new way that's happening. And like we're not closed off to doing that if we like find a way of doing it. Like we love making like the music videos and content and like the reels that we put on Instagram. Like we could quite easily, yeah, thank you. But I also think there's something really nice about, don't know if this is a bit naive, but this scene that like seems to still be so gig focused, so like listening focused, and like I think at the moment we're really happy in that space, and it's the space that makes us want to carry on creating, and it's the space that feeds us. So I think if it feels like something that will be beneficial to us, then we wouldn't say no to it, but I don't know that it necessarily is at the moment.
And we've had so much success in printing up posters and taping them around town.
There's a good recall there.
But it's
Coming.
I printed up little mini posters, and I would write on the back, "This is your sign to come to this gig," and leave them on the tube. And people would come when we were doing the residency. And I think people are very excited by that nowadays. Yes, Instagram and algorithms are really helpful, but people love physical, immersive
I think
connection.
Like the massive like advent of all of the TikTok stuff equally kind of pushes the excitement back onto like what Georgia was saying about the stuff like I can't think of example, but putting posters up and leaving stuff on the tube, it adds to the excitement of that.
And honestly, the community of bands playing gigs.
Oh, I can tell. Absolutely.
We all go and see each other's, we all play each other's gigs. It's so, I think it's a real shame if anyone ever felt disheartened by algorithm success or failure, because to all be with each other and looking into each other's eyes and supporting each other, that is why I feel we do it. No. I mean, I can only speak for myself, but Amelia and I are very similar in that it means a lot for us to have finally found a community where we are able to express ourselves and be raw and real, and that's our greatest achievement, is how close we are and the connections that we're making with other people.
And how much fun like we have during the process of it, because any time that I've done music by myself before, I've quite often felt really isolated and quite creatively blocked during the process of it, and it's not till I come up with a finished product that I think, oh, okay, that this was worth it, whereas I enjoy the process of this just as much, if not more, than the final product.
the love of my life.
God is the love of my life.
Love each other. Dearly.
Very much.
Dearly.
We're gonna get married.
I can tell.
We're gonna use we've got a band part, so we all have roles in the group.
Right.
And Amelia is treasurer.
I see.
I love a
What are the,
spreadsheet.
tell me about this. Tell me about this. Okay, I love this. I love this.
She has all the money that we make. And so
I see.
I told her to spend it all on a ring for me. And then we're gonna go back to Berlin. We go to Berlin a lot.
Married in Berlin. Romantical. Beautiful.
Thank
And
you.
then we'll write a song about it, and it will all
Married in Berlin. Married in Germany.
Thank you. You can come to the wedding.
Please. You know what? Call it something in German. Make it have a German name. The song.
What German do we know? Sonnenuntergang.
Sunset.
Sunset or sunrise.
It's one or the other.
Something along the lines.
Be your
you pass.
market. Kit Kat.
I have one more question. What are your inspirations?
We have such different ones.
Yeah, so many.
Give me top 5 sounds disgusting, but give me a top 5, top 10, top nothing. Doesn't matter.
Who would you say was like most inspiring for you at the kind of advent of the project at the start?
I think Patti Smith and Viv Albertine from the Slip. My guitar is called Viv after Viv Albertine. I moved to London and I'd never really known about female punk musicians, and then I remember lying in bed listening to Horses for the first time, and I was reading Just Kids and just like staring up into the darkness, not believing that existed. So I think Patti Smith, Viv Albertine. I love Judy Garland. I feel that what she does, even though the style is so different from Patti Smith, everything is so sincere. I'm not really a fan of postmodernism or like irony. Everything I say and do, it has to connect to
It's
something.
very real.
That's just how I work.
It's very raw.
Yeah.
Very feeling. It could be felt. It could be felt. Definitely.
And then I would also say a lot of the women who are on our Seven Sisters, Paula Rego, Ronnie Spector, Billie Holiday, my mum, always my mum.
Do you find it? You're mainly I'll categorize you as a female band, mainly female band. I don't want to put you under any kind of one stone. But what would you say you're a mainly female band? Female written, or what do you call yourself?
I think we focus on like female point of view, female stories, and like bringing like a whatever a feminine energy is. I don't really like using that term, but
Because everyone has feminine.
yeah, exactly.
They have it, and we have masculine.
Yeah, and we all feel very similar.
Comfortable with your energy.
Yeah.
Whether feminine or masculine. And there's a conformity within your band that you kind of condone this kind of universal energy. Would you say so?
Yeah. So
I think it's our pursuit that everyone feels free in their imaginations and connected in the community, because I think that's a really radical act. If you can imagine something better and more connected, then anything's really possible. The worst I've ever felt in my life was when I didn't have hope that I would make a connection like I have with Amelia, or be able to be artistically seen and heard and expressive. So if you can hope, if you can dream that that's possible, and continue being expansive and expressive and experimental, I think that's what it's all about. What would you say?
summarized it pretty well. But yeah, I think we were all really lucky to find people. Every time one of us entered the room, it was just click. But I think every relationship in your life, like, you have to want to put in the work to make it work. And somehow when we're all in that room, I just want to put in all the effort to make the relationships and the creativity like blossom with all those people.
Amelia was a bit coy at first,
I see.
and I had to reel you in.
I'd sworn off performing because I was an engineer,
Oh.
and I was And I was like, I can't be a female sound engineer. If I'm a musician, no one will take me seriously. So I was thinking, I can't do this. And then as soon as I came in, as soon as the first rehearsal was done, they had me.
The first time we spoke, Amelia said, "Oh, I just can't really commit. I'd really love to, but I don't really know."
It's not a relationship.
And I said, "I'm gonna get you."
I didn't know how much of a relationship it was going to become.
It's serious now.
It's very serious.
It's
Well,
kind of meeting your parents kind of
oh yeah,
relationship.
many times.
Is it a Christmas one?
Our parents have met each other.
Yeah, they have.
Oh wow.
They get on very well. Yeah.
Is the next step Christmas?
I hope so. I would love that. That'd be great. Marriage in Berlin and then
Christmas first.
Yeah.
Christmas first.
That would. Because I was in New Zealand for Christmas too.
Oh, for a month.
Hard torn. Hard torn.
Oh,
Is there a song about it?
there's gonna be.
A
We
song
should
about
being
it.
hard torn.
Yeah.
Distance.
Yeah.
It's Christmas. We'll release a Christmas song next year.
Please.
In like July.
And that's how roundabout when you should start writing it anyway.
True. Yeah, we're about right to start writing it now. Yeah.
You know what? For next
Record
Christmas.
it. Yeah.
By the time you produce it, record it,
Yeah.
play it, gig, come up.
It'll be 6 years down the line.
We really want to slow burn. We don't want to flash forward.
You don't want to burn out.
No, exactly.
Almost like a lighter. You want to spark first and then.
Yeah, that's lovely. Beautiful.
I've got one more question. Last question. How difficult is being feminine in the gig industry? Is it any? I come from a place of being quite a masculine presenting man, and I don't know not definitely hardships or anything like that a feminine person would go through. But would you say it's any different? Would you say it's harder, easier? Is it different?
It's definitely different. I feel like I notice more. I think you notice it more when you're watching your female friends rather than in yourself. But I notice them getting talked down to more, especially by engineers, especially by male engineers. And I think it can just sometimes feel uncomfortable when the world isn't really a safe place for women, especially women who really freely express themselves and move how they want to move and talk how they want to talk and show any kind of sexuality in public. So to do that on a stage in front of God knows who is it's a really vulnerable thing to do, and sometimes there are run-ins with people where it feels uncomfortable and difficult.
Do you feel judged?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Together, guys, together.
Yeah.
You have a lot to say about this. I can feel. I can see by the smile.
But I think that's what we tried to do with the music. A lot of the Seven Sisters EP is about archetypes and taking the things that are shamed, the vampire and the seductress, and saying, okay, well if that's evil, then I'll be evil.
Yeah.
And I'll be full and I'll be multifaceted and I'll be changeable. And I will smile in the face of shame and I will get free in the face of fear.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting what you say, that I notice it so much more if it's you. And if it's me, I still have that internalized dialogue of just to take it, or it's probably not as bad as I think it is. But when it's you, I get so protective.
Yeah, exactly. Or even the fact that if anything happens, you feel like it's your fault because you've put yourself out there on stage in a showy outfit and you've done yourself up and do you know what I mean? So I almost have felt like, how can I be mad if I feel uncomfortable? Just don't put yourself out there if you're going to feel uncomfortable. And that's so sad because, no, it's not true. Yeah.
When men do the same thing, no one judges them.
No, never.
Is that, and it's the same. I grew up working in film, and it's the same thing in all creative industries. And I'm sure I don't work in business, but I know that it's universal. Of that, men, that is the neutral, that is the baseline, and anything feminine is the deviation from it. To the point where, like, we were at a gig the other month, and a man came up to me and said, "Oh, you really sound like this other band." And I said, "Oh, I don't know them. What's their music like?" And he said, "Well, girls."
Ooh.
And then we listened to them and they're
Then-
nothing like us. Nothing like us.
Categorizing you in a bad way.
Do you see
Worse
what-
than me.
But it's like men have this neutrality to explore anything they want, whereas women, that's already a category.
It's a category,
And so if you
girls.
put anything else on top of that, it's almost too genre based
Dampened.
because they already see us as a genre.
So true.
Would you say it's compressed?
It has felt restricted, but also, you know, at the end
Restrictive.
of, it has felt restricted. I don't know. I felt the pressure sometimes, but also at the same time, it's like fuck them. We're having a great time. I do believe that people are becoming more radical and liberal, and
I agree with you guys. And honestly, right, this is a personal question. Who's Ronnie about?
Ronnie Spector.
it's about Ronnie Spector.
Who is that?
She's the lead singer of the Ronettes.
I see.
It's kind of, it was about, I wrote the lyrics initially about a situation that was happening of,
Personal kind.
yeah, all the songs on the Seven Sisters album, EP,
Yeah.
it's inspired by a woman, but we're not evoking that woman or trying to be what she was, because she did that.
Yeah.
We're saying, this is how this woman has come to me in my life, and this is how it made me feel. So Ronnie, we listen to when we feel heartbroken, and she gives us solace. And Terpsichore makes us want to dance and become possessed
Heartbreak.
and free. We're not being the women. We're saying this is a North Star, and we're being ourselves. Those women made a path that we can now run through.
There's a history.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add to that. That was beautiful.
Guys, I have one thing to say to you. You guys are amazing. And honestly, it's been a pleasure listening to you. I'll 100% come to the next gig, whenever it is, hopefully sometime soon. Saturday. Don't tempt me, because I will come, and I will get drunk at your gig. This time without this thing.
We're playing early. We're playing at 6.
At 6, okay. Tell me about it after this, but thank you so much for your time, guys.
Thanks
Shout
so
your name to the
much.
microphone.
Wednesday's job. Wednesday's
Band
job.
name. Wednesday?
Wednesday's child.
There we go. 1, 2, 3.
Wednesday's child.
Again, add a bit of rasp to it. Add the singing voice. Georgia, I know you have it. I've heard it. Amelia has it. I've heard the microphone as well. He came and fixed it.
No, we had to switch microphones.
Oh.
It was fine. It's so fine.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Wednesday's child.
Perfect.